Great morning, everybody. Great morning. Great morning. Good to see you from wherever you are coming in from. Just let me know whether you're here live, whether you're here. Well, you got to be here live. A live. Let me know whether you're here live. Let me know whether you're coming in also on the replay and where you're coming in from. I am Mitch Race. This is the Mitch Race podcast. I want to welcome each and every one of you here this Saturday morning. I'm here at 9 a.m. EST. Generally, each and every Saturday morning, including this one, which I'm so blessed to be here for. And I see you coming in already, and I see you. Welcome, Miss Connie Kobelik from the Connie Kobelik podcast. Good to see you here, Dallas. I'm going to start and kind of like get right into it. I see you over here on Facebook. So yeah, my standard greetings, which of course is MRPOGs, Facebook OGs, FBOGs, YTOGs, and of course, the IGOGs. Where would any of us be without the IGOGs? So welcome. Good to have you here. Great to have you here. Also, Shah from Trinidad, welcome. Welcome, Nettie from Florida, welcome. And it's good to be here with you all this morning. Sometimes, things are so funny because I find that I just have to laugh because everything seems to always go right up to the point where you're getting ready to start your podcast, and it's almost like you have a test in school. You're nervous about your tests in school. What's going to happen? Am I going to pass? Am I going to fail? Well, not I didn't feel that way about the podcast, but I'm just saying, just in terms of like you are in this state of mind whereas you're wondering what's going to happen, how's it going to be, and and just everything just seems to be coming at you right before you take that test or right before you do that podcast or whatever. It's so I just find it kind of funny and kind of interesting, and I have to smile and laugh at these things because that's what they're here for in life. They are challenges, and they're interesting challenges sometimes, and they do make us better. That being said, again, welcome to the Mitch Race podcast. Great to have you here. I see you, Strong Island. I see you. I so see you, Sonia Dungy. I so see you. Awesome, awesome having you here. Um, I'm Mitch Race, and I'm an image strategist. I help younger males who are on their value journey and seasoned to middle-aged males who are distracted, unclear, and don't know their value gain clarity and vision. So gain clarity, excuse me, gain clarity and vision so that they can become the best version of themselves, the absolute best version of themselves, while earning their desired high level income to match their image as an image strategist. I sort of like help people to look at what's going on the inside, what's got them stuck inside, what's got them stuck, and that's reflecting on the outside of their self-image, their confidence, their self-esteem, just knowing their value, invisibility. Those are things which can hinder you from your next level greatness. And so I help people to see those things a lot clearer and help move them from there to clarity, to vision, to being the best you, to being confident, to accepting yourself, to understanding and unpacking your self value, to raising and boosting your self esteem when you feel that you're at your lowest point. That's essentially what I do and who I am as an image strategist, and I love it. I want to also start off this podcast first by saying thank you. I want to thank you all for allowing me into your home, into your headphones, into whatever space it is for you. Thank you. I want to thank you for trusting me to be a part of your investment as you are a part of mine each and every week, each story, each reel, each post. You're a part of that investment, and I do it because of you, because I want to see you thrive, because I want to see you become the best you that you can possibly be and be confident in your life. And honestly, just live a confident life, have self-esteem. It's something because sometimes I encounter people, a lot of times now, I'm encountering people who are just so low at a point in who they feel they are, and they don't know any better. I was like that. And they deserve better. We all deserve better. So I appreciate the fact just to be able to let you know that, yeah, I do this for you. I do this for those who are unseen. I do this for the invisible ones. I do this for those who are feeling like they're down on their luck. I do this for those who are down in their confidence. And I do this for those who are really distracted and can't seem to get it together. I have been there. I want to assure you that. And I just wanted to share that with you from my heart. But I also want to remind you, yes, that we are invested in each other. We're invested in each other in that way. This is podcast number 88, 6 ways to see your value as an individual. I'm going to have to take a little sip. Six ways to see your value as an individual. I think value is one area people get stuck in their image, their self-image, their self-esteem journey, and that they struggle with. Sometimes we're not mature or secure in our inner thinking and desires, the things that we want, the things that we need, even the things that we are, and the things that we aren't yet. In an effort to see it in our outer person, we lack confidence in our value and question our worth because we may find it challenging to actually see it individually. Sometimes we seek the validation and approval of others, and we see the value through the lens of comparison. And in those ways, we're probably not seeing it at all. When I was rising through the ranks of management and positions in various places I worked, and I've had a lot of interesting, I would, I, I struggle to call them jobs, but yeah, they were jobs. But I had a lot of interesting jobs and positions and things, particularly because I was coming from an entertainment perspective. And even as I grew into becoming an administrator at a university. But when I was rising through those ranks of management positions back in the day, in all those different various places I worked, I felt like I had to work twice as hard to show that I was valuable, to show that I was valuable. I put in long hours, got in early, got home late, not necessarily always just exhausted, but really literally just excited because I was out there. I was really, as they say, ripping and running. And maybe, as I said, it was because maybe because I was younger and very, very ambitious. Ambitious would be the word for it, honestly. I wasn't purpose driven at that point in time. I liked running fast and hard and enjoyed playing the same way. I really did. I built and used skill sets from those work experiences that I still use to this very day. There are many of the things that I did then and that I learned then that I do now that I actually employ in who I'm becoming. Let's just put it like that. When I look back to some of those times, value as I saw it then was not the same way as I see it now. Now I think I can appreciate the personal and professional setbacks, setups, challenges, and victories in a different frame and time in my life. And I appreciate the language and the science of it because I understand how valuable value is, and the value of learning it, applying it, but also in gratitude and sharing it in ways that I could not as a rising star in all the things I did back then. Now more so, I can see that I can see my value as an individual is wrapped in God's love for me and in my purpose that I get to choose to love to pursue. And really not even necessarily pursue, but I am pursuing it, but walking in it and journeying in it. So that's kind of where I am. That's my story in terms of how my mindset about value was different than it is now, because now I see it more as an individual. It's not about comparison. It's not about comparing my life to anyone else's life. It's not about the pursuits of money. It's not about um, the pursuits of celebrityism as it was back then, of either having or working or being the best producer on the planet, that kind of thing. None of those ambitions are things now that I identify with the way that, and any really, I just don't identify with that side anymore of who I was. I've just become really, really different um, in how I see value and how I perceive it. And I think that when I go out here now and I see it in other people, and I see sometimes even in the younger ones who they're chasing something, and sometimes they're looking for things and they don't understand their value. Even middle-aged and seasoned professional men don't understand how valuable that they really, really are, and where that value is located, because they haven't looked at it, and they haven't had enough experience to see it as an individual. So I'm just going to kind of go into it now and give you 6 ways to see your value as an individual. 6 ways to see your value as an individual include practicing self comparison, identifying your strengths and values, and surrounding yourself with positive influences. Other methods include setting boundaries, challenging yourself to achieve goals, and recognizing your worth through mindful self care and affirmations. So let's go with it. Number one, practice self compassion and forgiveness. This is definitely a way that you can see your value as an individual. Practice self comparison, practice self compassion and forgiveness. I found it easier sometimes to forgive others than I did to forgive myself. That was one of the lessons that I believe that I had learned um, when I was going when I was coming up through my career and my jobs, my journey, so forth and so on. But practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Acknowledge your worth as an inherent part of being human, and that comes from taking out time, not based on external factors like achievements or appearance. That was a big, big thing back then for me, both the achievements and the appearance. Be kind to yourself, especially during setbacks, by forgiving past mistakes and embracing your imperfections. Definitely take time out to be kind to yourself. I believe that as I think back that I was kind to myself, but you and I both know as we journey on that we're moving fast, and we're not taking out the time to really think things out. And I'm not saying again that, that we're not mindful at all. I just think it's a different set of mind. There's a different mindfulness that you apply, and a different ideal of forgiveness, gratitude, um, understanding the value of your setbacks. It's different when you actually take time out to go on that journey and commit to it. So be kind to yourself, especially during setbacks, by forgiving past mistakes and embracing your imperfections. Because if you're like me, you made a ton of them, and you'll make a ton going forward too. Another way to see your value as an individual is to identify your personal strengths and values. Reflect on meaningful moments in your life and who you admire to understand what truly matters to you. That would be a mentor, I believe. That's one thing that you can do. I admire my mentor very, very much. I admire my mom as a mentor in my life, because I can reflect on those meaningful moments. Even then, there were so many things and so many people I met, but I met a lot of celebrities and I worked with a lot of them and a lot of people who were just real to the core. And I had a lot of moments in my life that I was able to reflect on that were meaningful. But again, going very quickly now, I actually take the time out to reflect on very much on meaningful moments in my life. And there are a lot of people that I admire, even now to this day, still today, that have contributed to my life and contributed to my life in a way that I never thought they would. And that's helped me to be able to identify my own personal strengths and values just by connecting with them and reflecting on these meaningful moments and things that matter most. List your strengths and positive qualities and focus on developing them rather than dwelling on weaknesses. That goes along with identify your personal strengths and values. List your strengths and positive qualities. Take time out to list those things and focus on developing them rather than dwelling on weaknesses. That's you can get far and go far ahead. That's something that I kind of wish that in a way that I had taken time out because as much as valuable as the lesson was and I was getting it and I was accomplishing a lot of things really quickly, I think that they would have been more sustainable had I actually focused on developing so many of those things, those characteristics and skills, rather than dwelling on what I did not have as the weaknesses of things. Weaknesses, when you develop on those things, it's sort of like that's almost scarcity thinking because you're not focused on on your strengths and you're not really grateful for your strengths, but you're really focused on your weaknesses, which means that you end up having a minus in the bank of abundance because you're so focused on your weaknesses that you can't get that you're not going to gain any more muscle like that. That's not happening. Another way to see your value as an individual is to set clear boundaries and communicate. Yeah. Um, I look at some of the situations that I was in and setting clear boundaries and communicating. I may have been communicating at that time, but setting clear boundaries, probably not. Probably not. And if I did them in such a way that they probably were not confident, but they were probably based in arrogance. And the other thing is this is that I think that you can go through a season in your life where you just don't know what those boundaries are. You just don't know what they are. You don't know enough what they are because you haven't taken time out to learn and understand and unpack what those boundaries are. So you're not going to be able to set them clearly if you don't know what they are and what their value is and why you need to do that. And honestly, I was operating so very, very quickly at that stage in my life. Things were coming fast. Money was coming fast. People were coming and going fast. I was coming and going fast. I was just ripping and running, as I said. And on to the next event, this event, that event, coming in early, coming in late. Just wow. I lived a life, as I say, honestly. So set clear boundaries and communicate. Define what you are comfortable with and communicate your limits respectfully to others. Speaking up for your needs and opinions is a way to show yourself that your thoughts and feelings are important. I often did that. I would speak up for myself, but I think that I spoke up for myself in ways sometimes that was more defensive and more apt uh, to create not enemies, but sort of like not, but it wasn't just beneficial. I had a lot of friends. I created a lot of friends I met a lot of people. I connected with a lot of good people. Um, but sometimes because you're the type of I was the type of person who liked to I would speak up, really, really speak up to authorities in a way that maybe wasn't the best sometimes. I didn't do it all the time. I was very mindful and very well raised, but there were just some times that um, when I opened up my mouth, they really listened because they got it. And that wasn't always maybe the best thing to always do. So you have to speak up for your needs, yes, and your opinions in a way, to show yourself that your thoughts and feelings are important, but not to the detriment of possibly being branded rude or arrogant or just someone that you don't want to work with or be around. Negative. That's the word that I'm looking for. So, number four, to see yourself, to see your value as an individual would be to challenge yourself and set goals. Really challenge yourself and set goals and set smart goals. I think I would add to that, to be honest with you. Take on new challenges to build confidence and a sense of accomplishment. That will help you to grow. Set worthwhile goals that align with your values to provide a sense of purpose and direction. To see your value as an individual, surround yourself with positivity. That would be your environment, your self development tools, your self talk. Seek out supportive people who encourage and respect you. Avoid people in situations that bring you down or make you feel inadequate. And number six, and here, practice this here, practice self care and mindfulness. This definitely is there's a healthy indication that you see your value as an individual. If you can practice and you learn how to practice self care and mindfulness, this is a healthy indication that you see your value as an individual. That's something that I think that even back in the day, as they say, would have been extremely valuable to me. It's not that I didn't take care of myself and I didn't do some of the things that I should have done, maybe uh, to show myself that I cared, but it was really about the time of things. And I was going again so fast, and I think that that's what happens in careers of people, even celebrities, that they go so fast. And even those who want to become celebrities, they go so fast and they try to go so far so quickly that they're not paying attention enough to really practice that real self-care that they need to practice and that we need to practice. A lot of people in the community are really great at it. Sonia Dungy's great at it. Don Allen's great at it. Neil Stewart's great at it. There's any number of people that are really great at that that self-care aspect of things, that mindfulness. And that's something that I think is worth getting good at, um, to help you to be able to see. And for me, as an image strategist, the value of being able to see what's important and to be able to unpack that in a way through my giftings and my callings is just amazing. And I'm just so grateful that this is for me, that this is where my zone of genius is, that this is where my comfort level is in being and in teaching and helping people to unpack themselves and see themselves because I can see them and even see myself differently and better. So that being said, I'm going to go now and see what you all are talking about, if I may. I want to thank you, and I hope that you got great value uh, from these 6 ways to see your value as an individual, and that you are looking at it from an individual standpoint. I really do want you to do that and focus on seeing this as an individual challenge, as an individual mission. But don't do it alone. Just see it. See it for what it is. Understand that it is personal to you and for you. So let's kind of go there. I'm actually over here in Facebook right now, so I'm going to see what you all are talking about over here. I see that Strong Island says a sense of accomplishment is the ultimate goal. I like that very, very much. Today is self-care, self-love Saturday. Yes, it is. No one does it better than Always Destined for Greatness. And I'm glad that you have received great value. I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to hop over now to Instagram because I see that, whoa, here we go. Okay. DC Anthony Smith, regarding stepping up and stepping out, the tenor of some directives and conversations require a counterpoint to the point or directive that's being made at the time. Yeah, it does, Tony. It does. I'm glad, Nettie, that you see this as a valuable podcast. Thank God. I'm grateful. And I'm glad that you're here. Don't worry about it, Tony. You can catch that. You can make that. You can make up for that. There's a makeup exam if you didn't catch part of the podcast. Okay. Realizing your value on a high level will help to attract others of equal or greater value. Absolutely, Tony. And I will tell you this, that is something that I think that I knew at the time, but it's something that I didn't really understand as well, because I think it was almost like, well, kind of like my mindset was, you know what, you're going to attract them, and you are attracting them. Not necessarily really kind of thinking about the ways why and what actually makes you attractive and what makes you valuable, as that being the draw. So, yeah, I would find people who would be equal to my value or more, but then the cultivation of those relationships, because you don't know what you don't know, and you're not able to apply that as something that's going to make you even more valuable for people to be able to connect with you on, and sort of like not use in a negative way, but sort of like to align with for some kind of a further purpose. You lose the value of that fast. Sometimes it can come and it can go. You can meet someone who's really uh, super valuable in every single way because they've done all of the work and checked all of the boxes that you didn't check, and that comes from training. And that's why it's really important to to make mentorship, community, self-investment, these things are really super important in you getting to the next level of yourself and discovering that side of you, so that you can go and you can then kind of connect the dots looking back with a clarity, a respect for yourself and what you've done and what you've accomplished, and not fall victim so much to imposter syndrome, etc., etc. Great point, Tony. Nettie says, as we mature, we will start prioritizing our values. Some things are at a high value state, while others, it's a value, but it may not be as important. That's absolutely true, Nettie. And yeah, we start prioritizing our values as we mature. Thank God for that we can mature. And we do realize that there are some things that are more important that others are, and we can put those other unimportant things to the side. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So that's valuable. That's very valuable. All right. Okay, so we're doing pretty good on time. I just want to say I want to thank you all again for being here in the Mitch Race podcast and for your contributions, for your comments, for your feedback, for your support. I've got a masterclass coming up, free masterclass, and that is going to be. I'm make sure I got this date right. As you know, I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect for you, and I've got the perfect date. Perfect date is Wednesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. It's going to be my free masterclass. Okay. It's gonna help you subvert some of that scarcity thinking that you may have, some of you out there, as I have had, and I've had to grow from. The free masterclass is this: it's 4 key steps to reframe negative and scarcity thinking to a positive, abundant, confident self image. And it's going to be sponsored by University. Reframe University. So, again, I want to invite you to that. You will most likely be able to register through the link. And I have a goal to make sure that happens this week so you all can do it the right way and not have to worry about, oh, where's the link at? I thought you said you were going to send me the link, or I don't have the link. I'm going to make sure that you're there. Could you please just try to make sure that you are there and that you are ready? I know some have already pre-registered, and I know who that is as well. So that being said, let's see what else. If there's anything else, I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything or missing anyone. Connie, I hope you're doing great out there. I see you doing great things out there. Let's see. I think we're good. Awesome. So listen, I'm going to give you back the rest of your day. I want you to enjoy that and invest in that. And again, I appreciate you being here. Again, until another, reframe your vision, reframe your value, and reframe your victory. This has been the Mitch Race Podcast, number 88, 6 ways to see your value as an individual. And I hope I was able to help you do that. See you all soon. Thank you.